Traveling by air is considered a rare luxury that is only accessible to the privileged in the society. It could be a dream come true for an ambitious hustler trying to climb the social ladder. While on air, especially a very long one, passengers devise means to keep themselves occupied for the duration of the flight by listening to music, seeing a movie, playing some games, drawing, writing, or poring over some documents. Some may engage in meaningful conversations, while others see the period as an opportunity to catch some rest or sleep. This was the case of Tiffany Adams. Tiffany boarded the Air Canada traveling to Toronto from a weekend getaway in Quebec City on June 9, 2019. Having a row of seats to herself, she got comfortable and fell asleep aboard the flight, only to wake up hours later in an empty, dark, freezing, and locked plane, still strapped in her seat. The plane had arrived at its destination and had been parked away from the nearest terminal. Relaying her experience to CTV, Tiffany said, "I thought this is a nightmare. This is not happening. I'm having a bad dream. Wake up, Tiffany." Amid trying to calm herself and not panic, Tiffany texted her friend, Dina Noel Dale, around 11:45 p.m. local time that night. "I just woke up alone in plane," the text read, according to CTV News. According to CTV News, Tiffany tried to FaceTime with her friend, but her phone's battery died, and the USB outlets were useless without the plane's power turned on. Not knowing exactly what to do, Tiffany groped in the darkness of the cockpit, trying to find a radio. But of course, the radios wouldn't work because there was no power in the plane. Fortunately, she found a flashlight and used it to make SOS signals out of the plane's windows. No one came through for her. Using the flashlight, she managed to illuminate the door and unlatch it. After opening it, she looked down and noticed she was suspended dozens of feet in the air. The drop to the tarmac was too far for her to jump, and the plane was parked far away from the airport terminal, she told the Canadian news channel. She resorted to shining the light out the plane's door for help. Meanwhile, Tiffany's friend, Noel Dale, had called Toronto Pearson International Airport to alert them that her friend was still inside the plane, the Washington Post reported. Tiffany's savior came in the guise of a crew member driving a cart. "When I see the luggage cart driving towards me, I'm literally dangling my legs out of the plane. The crew member is in shock, asking how the heck they left me on the plane," Tiffany said. Tiffany was then able to use a ladder provided by the crew member to climb down. She was met by Air Canada representatives who offered her a limo and a hotel, but she says she declined both because she wanted to go home and prepare for work in the morning. Robin Smith, a spokesman for the Toronto Pearson Airport, said the airline confirmed the incident, adding that airport officials were aware of the passenger's story and can certainly empathize with the concerns she must have felt. Peter Fitzpatrick, a spokesman for Air Canada, said the airline was still reviewing the matter. He added, "So we have no additional details to share, but we have followed up with the customer and remain in contact with her." Tiffany disclosed to CTV that the incident had affected her work and that she now struggles to sleep, waking up anxious and afraid that she's alone and trapped in some dark place. She added, "It's just a sheer sense of helplessness when you feel like you're locked on this aircraft and you have no connection to the outside world." Consequent to her ordeal in the plane, Air Canada has remained in close contact with Tiffany, asking her to recount her experience whilst apologizing profusely for her inconvenience. They believe her correspondence will help them conduct better investigation and put checks in place that should prevent people from being locked on the aircraft at night. Now, how does something like this happen with such a large and reputable airline as Air Canada? Is this a concern with improper training for onboarding staff and cleanup crew? Could it mean that employees are not complying with the standard operating procedures? What if someone actually planted a bag of bomb or anything incriminating on the plane? It would have gone undiscovered. This incident put a question mark on safety procedures and safeguards obtainable in airplanes. However, beyond the unprofessionalism of the staff, this incident bears the state of humanity, how we've drifted from being humane to being carefree and unconcerned about other people. Of course, it's the crew's responsibility, but what about co-passengers who probably saw Tiffany still asleep when they had reached their destination? They could have woken her up, but they chose not to. So the service of Air Canada is not only on trial, but also the humanity of man. Also, this serves as a staunch reminder for all of us that despite laws, policies, and safeguards, you are ultimately responsible for your own safety. This is just one of the many travel nightmares of the year 2019. Earlier this year, in January, there was a travel misadventure on a Boeing 777, the largest aircraft in United's fleet, from Newark, New Jersey to Hong Kong. It happened that the airplane bearing 250 people diverted to an airfield in Newfoundland because of a passenger's medical emergency. However, after attending to the situation, the airplane couldn't take off again due to mechanical faults. It was not until the next day that the airline sent another plane to rescue the stranded passengers from their frustration. So, next time you're boarding a flight, just say a little prayer and commit your way into God's hands. But also, be sure to be on alert for any emergencies. Airplanes are flying boxes. After all, have you experienced any travel nightmare? Share with us in the comment section.